What would happen if I walked into a random McDonald's and started working? I quit working at McDonald's about a week ago, and I still have my work uniform. I was wondering what would happen if I walked into a different McDonald's than the one I worked at and started working. Would I get into trouble with the law, or would they just tell me to leave if they noticed? I don't want a job, I just want to do it as a prank. The McDonald's I worked at had a fingerprint system you used to clock in. I was just planning on walking in pretending to clock in, wash my hands, put on some gloves, and then start working the grill. I don't want a job, I'm just doing it for poops and giggles. Update 7 days later. So I went to a McDonald's in a nearby town around 4 p.m. yesterday. I parked at a nearby store with a good view of the drive-thru. I waited until the drive-thru was very full to go to the McDonald's since they would be too busy to pay attention to me. I casually walked in and pretended to clock in. I washed my hands and put on my gloves. There were only 3 workers in the grill area. 2 of them were busy online, and the other was frantically dropping 10:1s. When they saw me, they told me to drop nuggets. I dropped nuggets, restocked the little freezer by the fryer, and continued working. One of them asked me if I was new. I just told him it was my 3rd day and he didn't question it. After a while, once things calmed down, one of the workers started teaching me how to do the line. I just pretended like I had no clue what I was doing, even though I did. I occasionally made simple mistakes, like putting diced onions on quarter pounders. Things went downhill once the manager asked us what breaks we'd taken and which we hadn't. I stayed quiet, hoping he wouldn't ask me directly. The manager looked at me and said, "And you?" I told him I hadn't had any of my breaks. He asked if I was new. I said yeah and gave him a fake name, Bradley Johnson. He looked through his list and told me he couldn't find my name on the schedule. I said, that's weird. I'm scheduled to work today from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. He then left to check the system, so I continued working. Once he got back he said, "Who are you? We don't have you in our system." I told him that there must be a mistake since I already had my orientation on Wednesday and I also worked on Thursday. He left to double check, and once he returned, he told me that I wasn't in the system or on the schedule. I told him I had no idea what was going on and that I was as confused as he was. He was already kinda pissed at this point, and he called the hiring manager. As you could already guess, he found out I wasn't an employee and he told me to get the fuck out, or he was gonna call the police. I left, and the crew members were just talking with each other about what had just happened.